All right, so the first thing you'll want to do is go to our website, mappingcville.com. Once you get to the Mapping Cville website, the homepage should look something like this. There's going to be a red Get Involved button in the middle. So go ahead and navigate down to that and give it a click. This will bring you to the Zooniverse website. Once that site loads, there's a button in the middle that says Get Started. Go ahead and navigate to that and give it a click. All right, you made it. Here's where you're going to be doing all your work for the Mapping Cville project, so feel free to bookmark the site if you want. On the left side of your screen, you'll see the property record that you'll be reading. This is the record you'll be looking through for specific information. We're going to ask you to do 10 tasks. And those tasks are on the right side of your screen. Here, above the large blank white box, you'll see a term or a task, and that's what you'll be looking for in this document. Once you find it, you're going to enter it here in the large blank white box. So, for example, the first bit of information you're going to enter is the date. It's usually contained within the first few sentences. And this is the only format request we ask of you for the whole project. Please spell out the month of the date. So for this one, we'll type out November 13th, 1945, spelling out the word November. And after you enter the date, click Next. This will give you the next task that we're asking you for. In this case, it's the seller, or who's selling the property. This is also usually contained within the first couple of lines, and it's typically referenced by the words parties of the first part, or of the first part. If you're in doubt, you can usually find the seller's name in the margin. It's listed as the first of the two names that are written there, usually in cursive. And once you find the seller's name, go back to the blank box under the word seller and enter it there. When you're done with that, go ahead and click the Next button. And that's the workflow. You'll do this for each of the other 8 tasks we're asking you for. In addition to the date and the seller of the property, we're also asking you to find and enter the buyer, or parties of the second part. Also, the amount of money paid for the property. Sometimes this is a nominal sum, like $10, but go ahead and list it, even if it seems ridiculous. Also, be sure not to confuse this with the taxes or small fees charged for the actual court filing of the deed itself. Those are clearly labeled, usually in the margin, and just ignore those. Next, find the block and lot number listed in the record. These are location indicators that help us find the specific property on neighborhood maps, also called plats. But not every deed will have a block or lot number, and some will have a lot number but not a block number. So if you see one or you don't see either, don't worry about it. Just leave it blank or write NA or I don't know. Next, you'll insert where the plat is located. This is the neighborhood's original map or plat. This will be listed as a deed book and page number in either the Charlottesville or Albemarle record books. And also helpful for us to track the properties is the deed book and page number of the previous deed for the property. This is the prior record related to the property. If the neighborhood name is mentioned, please enter that here as well. And of course, we want to know the racial language of the actual restrictive covenant itself, word for word, exactly as it is written. And lastly, we want you to enter the bank or lending institution, if it is mentioned. This information is often not in many records, and as with any information that you can't find or isn't in the record, please just leave it blank or type in NA or I don't know. So just to review the process, check out the blank white box for the information being requested, read through the document for that information, enter it into the blank box, click Next, and repeat. Most of the information we're asking you to enter will usually be contained within the first page of a property record, but sometimes that first page gets cut short because of where it falls in the deed book, or it's a long multi-page deed and it continues on to a second and sometimes third page. If that's the case, all you'll need to do is just keep scrolling down to the bottom of the page, where the other pages connected to that deed continue. That's the default setup for the project, but we also have another viewing mode, which you can find down here in the lower left corner of the page. If you click this button, you can view the deeds in flipbook mode. Here, you can toggle between pages by clicking this little circle at the bottom of the page, instead of scrolling down to the second page and scrolling back up to the blank white task box to enter the information. If you get stumped on any particular task, either how to enter it or maybe you can't find it in the document, we've got several sources to help you out. The first good place to look is in the Tutorial tab. It's right next to the Task tab, right here. Here, you can click the continue or the arrow buttons at the bottom to go through the different questions and tasks. And for each one, there will be highlighted examples of where the information can be found, along with a written explanation of what exactly we're asking for and the preferred format to enter the information. The second place to look is the Need Some Help with This Task button. It's right under the blank white box right here. Here, you'll find a more detailed explanation of what we're asking for with that particular task. Another place to look is the field guide, located here on the right side of the screen. Here, you'll find a link to this tutorial video, a glossary of terms often found in the records, and a more detailed explanation of each of the tasks. The last place to check if you're stumped and don't find any answers in any of these other places is under the About tab at the top of the page. When you click that, you'll go to this page where you'll find the FAQ tab. Here, we'll continue answering any questions that come up from other users helping with the Mapping CVille project. You can also click the Talk tab at the very top and pose a question that we'll answer and will be publicly visible so other users can benefit from the question as well. And if none of that works, or if you have a question that doesn't seem to be answered here, please don't hesitate to email me at jordyyeager@gmail.com. And thank you. We can't do this without you.